Hello, good morning, and welcome to this third SmartPin or Smart Tenants Underpin Deep Dive event on data spaces business models in the Underpin project use case. So before we start, I would like to very briefly introduce myself and these events. My name is Katia Lavin. I'm part of the Innovali Association team in dissemination and communication of the Smart Tenants project, and we're here today in collaboration with the Underpin project. So this is the agenda of this deep dive. We have a brief welcome and introduction section led by me. And then we have around 20 minutes speech by Elena Politi from the Harokopio University of Athens, who will enlighten us on data spaces business models in the Underpin project use cases, followed by an open discussion and questions and answers section. So very briefly, just so that we are all in the same line, in 2023, two projects were funded under the Digital 2022 Cloud AI Data Space Manufacturing Call for data spaces for manufacturing deployments, Smart Tenants and Underpin. As part of both projects' strategy for knowledge transfer and open collaborative innovation, we have both agreed to involve in these frequent bi-weekly Smart Underpin Deep Dive online events. In this third Smart Underpin Deep Dive, Elena Politi from Harokopio University of Athens will present the deep dive on data spaces business models in the Underpin project use cases. Very briefly, I don't know why the screen is not showing well the image. I apologize for that. Dr. Elena Politi is a postdoctoral researcher in the Department of Informatics and Telematics at Harokopio University of Athens, Greece. She earned a degree in physics from the National Kapodistrian University of Athens and a master's in science in telecommunication networks and telematic services from Harokopio University. In the context of the Underpin project, Dr. Politi leads the business development work package, focusing on strategies to create value from data. And without further delay, let me leave the space for you. So please unmute yourself, Eleni. You're still muted.
Hello, Katya. Hello, everyone. It's very nice to be here and representing Underpin Data Space, a cutting-edge initiative in the manufacturing data spaces. And without any delay, I will start my presentation, the purpose of which is to present you our efforts towards the business modeling for our manufacturing data space for Underpin. With that, I would like to first give you an overview of the current status of the European data economy, which heavily depends on secure and efficient data exchange, data of various amounts, which are essential for driving innovation and technological advancement. However, to realize this, there are a series of pressing challenges that we need to identify. For example, in many complex industrial environments, such as refineries, which are very interesting to us, predictive maintenance remains fragmented and inefficient. For example, subsystems such as pumps or compressors, they often operate in isolation. They rely on proprietary monitoring tools and data formats. And this siloed approach can create significant interoperability issues. Also, in many cases, legacy infrastructure lacks of consistency and continuing monitor capabilities. And even if data exists, in some cases it's not structured, or it's unreliable, or it's closed to proprietary ecosystems. Furthermore, during the Underpin, in the process of Underpin, other challenges beyond technology were identified, such as legal complexities of data exchange, data ownership factors, which make the landscape further more complicated. So in some cases, the data governance frameworks are unclear or even poorly defined. So, considering all these challenges that we had to address, the Underpin solution uh, uh, aspires to bring a pan-European data space ecosystem that enables secure, scalable, interoperable data exchange among industrial stakeholders. One of the core objectives of the project is to unlock the full potential of industrial data by supporting dynamic asset management and predictive maintenance functionalities. Overall, aiming to create new value added services and to foster industrial collaboration among different domains. Our data space is a trusted, is a transparent environment where organizations, industrial organizations, can exchange, can monetize, can collaborate using shared industrial data. So, in the process of the business model development, which is an initiative, a work that's undertaken mostly by me and our organization, Harokopio University, we had firstly to investigate, to identify what is an appropriate data space business models. What are the key characteristics that are really describe the business models of a data space. And typically, a business model outlines how an organization can create and deliver value. However, in the case of data spaces, value is generated by facilitating and sharing data across various use cases. So, in that sense, the greater the number and quality of use cases, the more frequently the data is reused. Um, Therefore, a data space business model, from what we understood, should offer a clear value to all the participants, which involve data providers, data users, and other roles that I will expand on in a while. And of course, a successful data space business model should also balance between its costs and revenues to ensure the economic viability and sustainability and long-term success. Some of the business models characteristics for data spaces are represented here. And I would start by saying that data spaces have unique characteristics. So, therefore, the business models need to be multi-sided, which means that the data space should outline the benefits to all the potential use cases as well as the data space participants, in the sense that sometimes they're conflicting or surely differently oriented. However, they need to be addressed at the same time. Also, business models for data spaces should be collaborative, meaning that the data space business model should apply to a set of organization and value is co-created. So the success depends on aligning the individual business models of the various participants. And lastly, the data space should align with the objectives and the principles of the specific data space, the governance principles, and the operational decisions that shape the value distribution of the design and management of the data space. Having investigated the current situation and market for data spaces, we identified the following key elements for data space business models, identifying what is the value proposition of the business model, who are the actors that will be offered this value proposition. Thirdly, the mechanisms for delivering this value, which include the key resources, the activities, and the partners, and the costs, all these elements that comprise of a successful business model. Fourthly, to whom do we target when developing a business model for our data space? And five, it was essential to create a sustainable business model that balances the costs and revenues, considering also economic and societal impacts. And so, for this, several business case patterns exist and have been implemented for data spaces, and I'm presenting these business patterns here. For example, many data space initiatives utilize the pay-per-use model, where participants pay based on a volume of data they consume, or the subscription-based model, where participants pay a regular fee to access the data space, or perhaps some certain premium features. All these data as a service, where providers need to package the data into services, the freemium model, which offers basic data access for free on a specific volume of data and then charges premium services, the revenue sharing models, where earnings are shared among participants, and the tiered pricing, where the model allows users to select from different service levels. Existing data spaces utilize either one of these uh, patterns, or sometimes um, a combination of these to ensure a successful revenue stream uh, pattern. And I will expand in a while on the business cases that we considered in Underpin. So, when considering our business model strategy in Underpin, engage stakeholders early, the iterative development of the use cases, promoting data sovereignty through our data space to ensure being providing clear guidelines and tools for all participants, to monitoring and adapting our business models frequently. This is a very important step when considering business models for data spaces, refinement, and regular assessment within the data space. And finally, to facilitate knowledge and sharing among participants. So, what we focused on Underpin is specific data-driven business cases for industrial purposes. For example, the supply chain optimization, which refers to the real-time data across logistics and production lines. Um, this means that the system is able to anticipate disruptions, adjust production schedule dynamically, or ensuring time inventory. Uh, so, such forecasting becomes more achievable, and companies can better align with the market needs. Uh, Also, product life management, which refers to analyzing data across the entire product life cycle. And in data spaces, this end-to-end traceability supports innovation and reduces risks and ensure the longer life cycle of the components. Also, spare parts forecasting, which is refers to, usually it's based on AI-driven analytics on historical data, real-time operational data, that aim to predict, for example, where parts are likely to fail or when parts require servicing. Um, so, in view of these business cases, I will share our insights for the current market status. For example, the product lifecycle management industry undergoing a consistent growth um, is expected to reach by 2033 to reach 60.8 billion US dollars projection, which is quite for us very something very positive. So, when considering the business models for Underpin, we had to identify what are the key actors and what are the roles, and as such, uh, we investigated, presented, and described um, first of all the data space operator, who is the governance authority, the data space, and then the data provider, the data consumer, and the service provider roles. And all of these, of course, they operate under the appropriate regulatory bodies that ensure compliance uh, with the different data initiatives, data protection initiatives, and data sovereignty, such as the AI Act, the Data Act, and so on and so forth. So one of the tools that we implemented for deriving our business models is the data space canvas, which is an adjusted canvas, an adjusted business model for canvas, which is targeted to data spaces, and it involves the objective scopes and principles of the data space, but also it captures the use cases and together with this process of capturing the data spaces, all the different value propositions of the actors across the data spaces are captured. And so the data providers, data users, service providers are identified, as well as the value propositions, as well as the revenue and pricing, and of course the network effects that associate with a data space. This is a very important tool for the business model development. And so, some of the key elements that we identified through this process, uh, beginning to describe the business model of Underpin, the principles of manufacturing data space focus on this industrial data sharing for manufacturing optimization. They focus on predictive maintenance services, dynamic asset management, and transparency in the value chain. The current use cases for Underpin focus on predictive maintenance for refineries and wind farms. And some of the data providers are industrial IoT platforms, OEMs, or factories. And on the other side, some data recipients, some data consumers are the service providers, analytics platforms and equipment vendors. The objectives of our business model or our data space is to expand in the value chain and to position within the European data market and landscape in the area of manufacturing. Um, Also, identifying the value propositions for the different roles. For data providers, Underpin ensures trust in the data exchange mechanism, uh, putting itself as a reliable platform for data sharing. On the other side, data users can gain access to real time manufacturing data to optimize their processes, to improve predictive maintenance and efficiency of their subsystems and systems, and the network effects that we expand on is expanding the data space on focusing on providing new services, enrolling new data providers, new data users within the European market. For Underpin, we considered two revenue models, the subscription based model and the pay per use model, and of course, a combination of these. So, in the subscription based model, the participants pay a regular fee, and one of the key benefits here is that it provides a predictable revenue stream. And so this encourages a long term engagement and the stability of the data space. On the other side, the pay-per-use model is mostly is based on users that are charged on volume or on type of data, and this is a more flexible revenue model that can be more attractive in a sense that it caters to the diverse user needs and This makes it more appealing to organizations that have specific data requirements. Um, so in Underpin, we considered a combination of these two models for our revenue streams. And having built on our business models, on the process of our business modeling for Underpin, um, we plan for the future and our next steps to evaluate and refine them through consistent stakeholder engagement. It is important also for us to focus on the multi-sided value propositions and revenue mechanisms for Underpin. This is very much enforced by community building through participation in other initiatives and organizations. And very importantly, to refine, to process with business model development is to include to focus on the co-creations with the co-creation processes with early adopters and ensure relevance and usability of a data space. And this concludes to my presentation for today on business models for Underpin. I would like to thank you very much for your time and patience, and I am available for any questions or anything that you would like to discuss. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Eleni Politi, for your presentation. I apologize for the little connection issues. Anyhow, we have some minutes for questions and answers now. As always, we leave some time for the audience to leave the questions in the chat, which are the little clouds with that you can find, if I'm not mistaken, in the right of the screen during the event. And we leave some minutes for questions and start with the answer section. So I can actually see that there are a couple of questions already. So let's start with the first from Claudia. Is the data space canvas available for external use?
Of course, Claudia. These are tools that are available online. And if you'd like, I can also provide you with any resources that exist. Please send me an email and I will gladly follow up with the data space canvas that we used in Underpin.
Okay, of course. We can share your email address with
My
the
email.
audience. Yes, exactly. This
Mhm.
way we can share it with the audience if there are questions on this matter. So a question from Marcelo from Innovalia. What is the time scope for that data space to be open for eventual external partners?
As you know, Underpin is a 2-year project, so we conclude in November. So our data space is already up and running. It's mostly full functionalities are there, and we have a landing page, we have an onboarding page, and we offer most of the functionalities and services of our data space of our manufacturing. Data space. And perhaps also I can follow up with a link of that so you can take a look and navigate through it. Thank
Of
you very much.
course, this would be also interesting. Maybe we can share this link with the registered participants after the deep dive event. Another question from Claudia: Are the revenue models applied within the underpin use cases, or are these models only for future data space users?
The revenue streams that we are investigating, we are proposing, they're applied to the underpin data space, which is it's one of the first projects that really focus on the manufacturing data space. So yes, my answer to that is yes, they are applied to Underpin and ensuring sustainability of our data space.
So that makes clear that the entire payment system is also being applied and so on. Okay, that
Oh
makes
yes,
it
to Underpin.
feasible in the long-lasting
Mhm.
stage.
Exactly, sustainability of the
Interesting.
data space. Mhm.
Another question from Marcelo. You mentioned pay-per-use. I suppose that is charged by the data space provider in order to maintain the lights on. In predictive maintenance, I see the main focus on submitting the machine data for analytics and predictions. However, a
Mhm.
manufacturer could be interested in paying for data from another manufacturer. Is that business revenue present? The ability of partners to exchange data against a monetary compensation among themselves?
Uh, if I understand the question correctly, first of all, in Underpin, we explore different revenue models. So it's the pay-per-use, also that's we include, but it's also a stable revenue model. So in Underpin, there are different stakeholders, different actors uh, that develop a monetization behavior between them. So I think yes, that's one of the cases that we can support.
One last question by Chilo Leguiza. I am
Mhm.
sorry if I missed it. Did you mention who the data space provider is?
What do you mean data space provider? Maybe data space operator?
Technological, maybe the technological provider of the data space, or is it
The data
like
space, maybe I can answer. I don't understand the question, but maybe I can answer holistically to capture any kind of questions. Um, the data space operator uh, is a refinery, is motor oil. The refinery operator is one of the largest energy providers in Greece and also in Europe. In a data space layout, there are different data providers and different data consumers. One of the largest data providers for us is the refinery from motor oil, from the data operator, and the wind farms from one of the partners from our consortium. Uh, so if you need any further details and information about Underpin, you can check our website, of course, and I would happily provide you any material that we also have.
Okay, yes, I see that Chilo Legita mentioned that he was asking about the operator, so I guess that question has been answered.
Mhm,
I see that there are no more questions, and we are five
mhm.
minutes almost close to the end of the event. First of all, I want to apologize for the connection issues again. We are having a little bit of a tough day here with connection too. And second, I want to appreciate the presentation that you have led, Eleni Politi. It has been very interesting also to know how these data spaces business models can actually shape the future of data spaces in Europe for manufacturing deployments. And hopefully there will be more use cases and more validations of data spaces in manufacturing deployments in the future. But of course, we are both SmartTenance and Underpin are shaping together the future of data spaces in Europe, and it is enlightening to hear how it is being done in Underpin. So thank you so much for your contributions on that line. And given that there are no more questions, I hope that you have a wonderful day, and we'll be in touch for the future. The video of the event will
Thank,
be available after the event.
thank you so much, Katya, and for the opportunity to present and collaborate again. And see you soon.
Okay, great. Have a wonderful afternoon. Bye.
You too. Bye.